Alright, prior to actually reading Frankenstein, there are several things thematically that I'd like for us to discuss that are quite relevant to today's world, be it technology, aging, physical deformities, pursuit of knowledge, etc., etc. One of the things I want you to consider, and something we need to discuss, here's the statement. Technology will eventually solve most of our problems. Now you have to consider, what might these problems be? Is this a case of the tail continuously wagging the dog? Once again, the statement is technology will eventually solve most of our problems. So think about that. That's one aspect of Frankenstein that we will touch upon. The next aspect deals with medical research. Here's the statement for you to think about, to ponder. Medical researchers will eventually find cures for major ailments. Of course, then you have to classify what you consider major ailments. And then, what is your belief? Do you believe that medical science will eventually find cures for all the diseases, all the plagues that ail the human body? Next thing I want you to think about is aging. Aging and death. The statement is as follows. Aging and death are a part of the natural cycle. We cannot avoid it. In case you haven't realized, there's a lot of research, a ton of research going on in the field of aging. Scientists, theoretical scientists like Aubrey de Grey, they are actually trying to make it so, well, the easiest way to say it, so that mankind is immortal. That in itself carries its own burdens, its own problems, but nonetheless, if you go back and trace over the last 1,000 years, our lifespans, our life expectancy, it's increased quite dramatically. So is there the possibility that science could actually stop the aging process so that man only dies a violent death? What about scientists in general? Here's the statement. Scientists should not be held responsible for the ways their discoveries are put to use. Once again, scientists should not be held responsible for the ways their discoveries are put to use. Okay, most of you are only 17 to 18, but at some point, in the next few years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, however long you and your spouse decide, you'll become parents. This book is fascinating on the aspect that it deals not only with technology and science and aging, but there's a huge underlying theme of a parent's responsibility. Here's the statement. Parents should be held accountable for their children's behavior and or misbehavior. Once again, parents should be held accountable for their children's misbehavior. Next, I understand it may not be pretty to look at. That highlights another theme, the physical deformity, the prejudice we have towards people that just don't look like the norm. Here's the statement. People with physical deformities are often mistreated because others fear them. People with physical deformities are often mistreated because others fear them. Next, going back to parents. Everyone has the right to become a parent. Everyone has the right to become a parent. Next thing I'd like for you to consider is our pre-reading discussion. The pursuit of knowledge should be for the purpose of improving the world. The pursuit of knowledge should be for the purpose of improving the world. And last, sin and crime. Not exactly the same, sin and crime. The statement is as follows. Sins and crimes are equally immoral. Sins and crimes are equally immoral. For your entertainment purposes, it's a great movie. Couple of misconceptions. Once again, he said Dr. Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein in the book never is, never will be a doctor. That's purely Hollywood. And don't expect to see Igor, in the book either. Once again, a Hollywood creation. And in case you care, it's actually Gene Wilder that came up with the idea to do the movie about a young Victor Frankenstein.